So you click this video, meaning that you have an interest in the FX6, either you just bought it or you're thinking about buying it in the future. Now I've had this camera for about 2 months, upgraded from the A7 III and the A7 IV, however I still have those cameras. And for those people who have been following my channel for a long time now, I actually just got my first short film completely done and all shot on the Sony FX6. I shot that on this and the Tokina Vista Primes, which are really expensive lenses that they sent to me, and this really cheap, less than $100 cinema lens that I'll be making a video on in the next week. This video is going to be about my thoughts, pros and cons, and reactions after using the FX6 on a major client project. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Kip Jackson. Start somewhere is the motto. I love cameras, I love traveling, I love videography. If any of those things really are in your wheelhouse, subscribe to the channel. Or if you're interested in somebody just following their dreams and just going for it, my channel is for you as well. Back to the video. So just for clarification today, we're talking the FX6 pros and cons as a solo filmmaker. Slide it over here. If you'd like to see the video on this entire setup and what's going to be coming to it, that video is here. The film will be out in around 1.5 years, and I'm just super excited about the entire process, but this was used about 35 hours for the entire project, which was a lot. We're gonna do cons first because there's tons of videos on the internet about the pros and what's really good about this Sony camera. As a solo filmmaker, time is not really something you have, and hands is not something you really have as well. You really only have 2, so you wanna do things that make you efficient and really good at your job, and give off the image that you really know what you're doing and you're passionate about this thing called videography or cinematography. 1, battery life. If you're somebody who doesn't want to get a external battery and just wants to rock with the Sony battery, 3 hours isn't enough, and you gotta keep buying those and buying those and buying those just to keep your setup really light. That's a really small con and something that can really be easily fixed, especially if you're an agile person and or just have a rig in general. But here's some bigger ones that I really did not like. 2, in my opinion, in post-production, a lot has to go into the image to give it that character and to give it your own feel, rather than to have that super sharp and digital look to it. 3, this thing right here, this top handle, honestly, other than mounting a monitor on it, it's really useless for me. 2 problems with the top handle: that 1 is very flimsy and that it only takes a certain Sony microphone that I don't even have. So I externally recorded my audio, which added another step in the post-production process. In my opinion, if this top handle is going to be as big and bulky as it is, at least make it universal to be able to accept multiple microphones without tons of gaff tape. Another negative in this space should be in the memory department. It should be advertised a little bit more what memory cards or what pro-grade cards you really need to get this camera functioning the best it can be without breaking the bank, of course. V30, out of the window. V60, sometimes not reliable. I recommend V90 or pro-grade or Angel Bird, or buying an Atomos Ninja 5, which I have yet to get, and recording external, which gives you that 16-bit raw large file. This can be a hot take or really a problem that I only have with Sony cameras, and that's the fact that it has the E-mount, which is a great thing if you are in the Sony ecosystem through and through, but it's a bad thing if you're looking at different types of cinema lenses along the way. That being said, I actually bought the DZO Octopus converter, which goes from PL to E, and looks pretty dope on my rig anyway, but it is almost $300. In my opinion, you should not be buying this camera unless you A, did a ton of research beforehand so you know exactly what to buy in your production process, or just have tons of money and you don't really care about any of that stuff. But then you wouldn't be watching this video anyway. Now, on a much more positive note, and one of my favorite things about this camera is the modularity. Like, you can literally put as many things as you want on it and it looks nice and it rigs it up the way you need it to be. And that's one thing that Sony really did well with the Sony FX6. This camera was really easy to use right after I got it rigged up the way I needed it to be. It really had no errors in terms of footage, in terms of just setting it up. It's really quick to power on. This camera has an HDMI, SDI, and a TC out, which is awesome because if you want to link your stuff up with timecode, helps you out in the post-production process tenfold. Another positive of this camera is the image that comes out of it. I know I said it wasn't negative, but I do still like it. The S-Cinetone right out of camera is pretty amazing. You basically have to throw a simple LUT on it, maybe correct a couple white and black balances there, and pretty much good to go for your clients that don't know the difference between ProRes RAW or any of the codecs. The monitor's not too bad, a little small, but honestly love it. After getting this rigged up the way I needed it to be, the ability for me to just pick it up, shoot in different formats, whether it be shoulder mount or, you know, on a gimbal or on a tripod, is so quick. And they did an excellent job at being able to produce a camera that can go down from the simplest, smallest build to the most complicated build for bigger sets and bigger clients. Now, if you're able to invest into your rig, I highly recommend this one right here. It's by Zacuto, which is in the USA, and it really has a modularity to it that you cannot use every single part to it. Has a shoulder rig and an easy to use VCT plate, which allows you to go from shoulder mount right onto a tripod in a matter of like seconds. Literally just snap it on and it works like butter. If you want to run your audio externally, I highly recommend you getting a C-stand or some type of mount for your microphone to be able to hang it right over your client's heads or in that space to where it's not in the frame and you're freeing up your hands. If you like this video and you have any more questions on the Sony FX6 or FX3 or just cameras in general, cinematography, drones, lighting, audio, whatever, drop them below in the comments. I'll be doing a giveaway at 5,000 subscribers like I did at 3,000 subscribers. So I pay attention to whoever comments. It's your boy Kip Jackson. Start somewhere. But y'all do. Peace.